Please leave it.
Yeah, it's in disguise.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to start the third session. We have candidates for Congress in the 1st and 2nd District. We'll start with opening statements, 3 minutes each, gentlemen, and since we're in the 1st District, I'll let Mr. Laughlin start.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Stephen and I want to thank the folks at the Voter Coalition for putting this together and pulling together this forum. You know, these are exciting times for us to be able to actually talk to candidates for all of the offices that we seek, whether it's governor or attorney general, and we've got some state rep folks here I think that are going to be up a little bit later. My name is John Laughlin. I'm running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. Been in this race for a while. We got our paperwork filed with the FEC in April, and we've been working hard, traveling across the state, meeting Rhode Islanders. Just by way of background, I spent 26 years in the military. Retired in 2004 as a lieutenant colonel, as a reservist, and I believe in the concept of the citizen soldier, and was very excited to be part of that concept. I was mobilized twice, once in 1995 and sent to Bosnia-Herzegovina as part of the Dayton Peace Accords, and again I was mobilized to prepare soldiers for duty in Iraq. So I think national defense is one of the key issues in this race, one of the things we absolutely need to keep our eye on the ball. We need to stop treating these terrorists as common criminals or arrogant to deal with, and we need to start having The other focus that I got involved in this race for is about Washington. It's about what's going on in Washington. And the spending in Washington, I was on the Hannity show the other night and I said, it's like spending on steroids. We're looking at a $12 trillion deficit. And $12 trillion is going to be impossible for our children and grandchildren to ever pay back. And if we don't get spending under control in Washington now, we're going to look back on 2009 and 2010 as the boom years. Because as we heard earlier, there's just no stimulus money. The stimulus has been totally ineffective. We need to get our economy under control. We need to start growing jobs, and we need to start doing it right now. And we're going to have a very spirited discussion, I'm sure, tonight. We're going to have a lot of questions, and I'll pass this microphone off and we'll get our next candidate up here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out, and to Steve Wright and to Chris Carnes and the Rhode Island Voter Coalition, thank you very much for putting real people in the seats in front of real candidates so we here in Rhode Island can really make a decision. And this is a decision that's going to be critical to us. My name is Mark Zaccaria. In 2008, I was the Republican candidate for Congress in the 2nd District. I mean to be the Republican candidate again in 2010. And the reason that I am running is because the America that I grew up in is slipping through our fingers. I will not allow it to slip away from us if there's anything I can do about it. And I charge each of you to make a commitment to do the same thing with who you support, and especially with your vote in 2010. The spending measures that have greatly increased in the first year of the new administration are threatening the financial foundations of the Republic. If your money is worth nothing, it does not matter how much of it you have. And we are facing that. So we are in a situation where, despite the party tag, yes, I'm a Republican, look past that, there are only two things we can do in the federal government right now. We can make it bigger, which is what's been going on, or we can come to our senses and make it smaller. And that's what we're not. Now I'm asking to be your representative on a committee of 435. And you might say, well, what can one freshman congressman do? I'll tell you what I can do. I can make some noise on your behalf. I can let the people down there know that the people of the 2nd District of Rhode Island, hey, say enough already, and we need to cut spending. Now that's going to be painful, and we're all going to have to sustain that pain. But if we don't, the pain that our children or grandchildren are going to have to sustain is going to be that much worse. And so John just said we have a $12 trillion headache. We now need to take a $12 trillion aspirin. And if we don't, it'll be a $20 trillion aspirin, which is going to be even harder to choke down. So the sooner we culturally come to our senses and say that free Americans govern themselves, we will not become indentured servants to a government that has to take everything away from us to just try and pay the debt that it's racked up in our name, and we start taking back our government, the better off we and our children will be, and we'll be back to that America that you and I did both grow up in. My name is Mark Zakaria. I'm running for Congress to do that job on your behalf. Please keep me in mind in November. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Michael Gardner. I come from Providence. I was born in Cranston, went to LaSalle, Cranston East, University of Rhode Island, graduated from Western New England College School of Law in 1989, passed the bar on the first attempt, I'm glad to say. I've been practicing law in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for about 19, 20 years now, doing civil litigation, criminal trials. I've had criminal trials in state court, federal court. I've had civil trials in the state court. I've been working, representing individual clients, companies, and even municipal agencies and municipalities during those 20 years. And so I've had a lot of interaction with the law in general and with federal law as well. And the duty of a representative is to protect and to serve the people. And what the people want is peace. They don't want to be worried about their government. It's illegal to worry a horse in Rhode Island. And it seems to me that this administration in Washington has been worrying us for a year. You know, health care reform has been on the table. Our insurance rates are going through the roof, and we've got no relief. We need a market reform. We have 2 or 3 companies dominating the state of Rhode Island, effectively no competition, and our rates are going through the roof. But we can't get any market reform because Barack Obama says, and Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Roberts says, that we can't have any market reform unless you agree to a new system of subsidy and entitlement and expanded government. And you, the earners and payers for health insurance, are entitled to reform without any conditions, period. Jobs is going to be a big issue. As Republicans, we can't just say no. People out there, they want to know what we're going to do about jobs. Now, the first stimulus package just was a government-to-government stimulus. It helped government and the friends of government. But it didn't really help everyone else who wasn't a teacher or a policeman or a construction worker or a government employee. What about the rest of us? You know, there's a lot of foreclosures coming down the pike. We really probably should do something to make the lenders want to work out the loans with us. So they're actually calling us and knocking on our doors to say, what can we do to work out your loan? Let's give them a tax credit. So they'll call us and say, we're not going to make you apply, we're not going to make you pay, we're not going to give you any phony promises, we're cutting the interest rate on your loan, we're cutting the payments for a period of 5 years. Let's just do it right and stop the foreclosures, because we can't have the foreclosures eroding our tax base. We have to give people fundamental help right now. As far as jobs, health care reform is kind of a 2-for-1, because $4,800 is spent annually by an individual on their health insurance. It's about $13,200 for a family plan. If we could get a nationwide market going, a 10% cut would cut more money, would create more savings than the stimulus checks we received in 2007. Thank you.